Now at 6, Oklahoma authorities arrest 6 people after busting up an illegal marijuana growing site in Ottawa County. Plus, how the state of Missouri will use funding to help small businesses. And the 4 states is currently under a red flag warning. We're going to break down what that means.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Ottawa County, Oklahoma say they've busted a large illegal marijuana growing operation. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office helped the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics raid the operation in rural Fairland. Authorities say they found more than 3,000 live plants, nearly 800 plants hanging to dry, about 17,600 pounds of processed marijuana at the site. Some of it was burned, some was put in dump trucks and hauled off. Police arrested 6 people and charged them with unlawful cultivation of marijuana, trafficking in marijuana, and possession of firearms and commission of a felony. The state of Missouri is set to receive nearly $100 million in federal funding for small businesses. The funding is going to be used to operate a venture capital program called Idea Fund. It'll be managed by the Missouri Technology Corporation. The money comes from the State Small Business Credit Initiative.
I think it's very helpful to kind of break down some of those barriers to entry, because once you're established, it's relatively easier to grow, but just going from zero to something is the hardest step, rather than something to grow it to a bigger size. So I would say it's pretty essential.
The funding will also go toward business incubators. Let's check in with Sam Lane for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. It was a beautiful day if you could get through the wind. It was nice and sunny, but as a result of the drought conditions and all the factors coming together, we were under a fire weather warning, and that goes until 8 o'clock tonight, and that encompasses our entire area and large chunks of the surrounding states. And if you take a look at radar, nothing, nada, not a thing going on across the south central states, and that's exacerbating the drought situation, which has expanded now to include southwestern Missouri in the exceptional category, and then surrounding that, the extreme drought situation. And that's only going to get worse if we don't get some rainfall in here. And today, we had winds gusting up over 20 miles per hour in many locations still at this hour, 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts at Independence, and winds are starting to let up just a little bit, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it as we are under that red flag warning. And then we may have some weekend showers, and I'll tell you where that's going to be. And also our first freeze is coming up, and then maybe a return to the drought, Dow.
All right, we'll see you soon. Those dangerous fire conditions do continue across the area. Parts of the 4 states have been under burn bans for weeks. Then yesterday, the National Weather Service issued that red flag warning for the area. KOAM Shagun Bamandelli explains what that means.
A red flag warning means very low humidity and strong winds are expected to combine, creating a higher risk of fire danger.
Here for us in southwest Missouri, we're in a drought situation. We have received a little bit of rain for our areas at less than 1/4 of an inch a day or two ago.
For red flag conditions, winds must be at least 10 miles per hour, humidity 25% or lower, and dead fuels like grass holds less than 9% moisture.
You know, smoking discarded cigarettes out the window of a moving vehicle, or even discarded it near your front porch into the grass, could start a grass fire pretty quickly. And then burning trash in barrels, burning brush piles, burning leaf piles, anything like that could come out of control due to the elevated winds.
Chief Coates says trying to put out the fire on your own could be dangerous.
And the quicker we can get there, the less chance we have of someone getting hurt or burning someone's home or building down.
The community's help is needed to protect the community during red flag conditions.
Most people have apps on their phones that will give them the weather conditions, and it will tell them about it. And it's just basically raising the awareness, make sure the people know, make sure they don't go out and burn their leaves or try to get anything, burning brush or anything like that.
In Reddingsville, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
And it looks like the National Weather Service has already declared tomorrow another red flag warning for parts of the area. A judge has dismissed a lawsuit challenging a Missouri law that requires voters to show a government-issued ID at the polls. That means voters without a photo ID will have to file a provisional ballot in the November election. The provisional ballot will be counted only if the voter returns later that day with a photo ID or if election officials verify their signatures. The lawsuit was filed by the Missouri NAACP and the League of Women Voters, who argued the law restricts people's ability to vote. Officials with those groups vowed to take the case to the Missouri Supreme Court. Hearings are again on hold in the state of Missouri's efforts to shut down a Christian boarding school whose staff members have been accused of abuse by numerous current and former students. A judge this week canceled hearings that had been scheduled for today and tomorrow to consider Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt's request to close Agape boarding school in Stockton. Schmidt's office filed a motion in early September to close the school, calling it, quote, an immediate health and safety concern for the children residing at Agape. New hearing dates have not been set. Penn State students will now be able to learn in a quieter environment. The university today held a ribbon cutting for a new solar panel canopy. The panels will be used to power hand tools used by outdoor classes at the College of Technology. Officials said before those tools were powered with a noisy generator, which made it hard for students to hear the teachers. Now that won't be an issue.
It'll be used by our students in our electrical program, which is our 2-year electrical technician program, and by our electronics engineering program, and then also our School of Construction. So our students will be able to understand the solar processes and be able to incorporate that into our curriculum and our labs.
The school received the solar panels through a partnership with Evergy. That wasn't the only event happening at Penn State this morning. Capert hosted its Future Professionals Conference at the Student Rec Center. Capert stands for Kansas Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. It was a chance for students studying any kind of physical education to try some hands-on activities and learn some new skills.
With the pandemic, a lot of conferences and things were not held. And so now we're trying to get back in the swing of things, and they wanted to do just a one-shot, have a convention just for college students only.
Coming up, the city of Carthage finds a new owner for its historic fire truck. We're going to check out the restoration, plus how some people are already reserving their spots for the Maple Leaf Parade this weekend. The city of Carthage now has a new owner for its special 1939 fire truck. KOAM's Yana Hautala learned more about the historic truck and the new look it's getting.
In 1939, the Carthage Fire Department acquired the City Service Ladder fire truck. It was their first new fire truck. It was special. It could do 4 different things.
Back in those days, that was just pretty amazing that a city was able to do that, buy a brand new truck straight off the line.
Steve Burnett, who has bought 43 fire trucks over the years, had his eyes on this specific truck for a while.
I then went to check about the Carthage truck, which I heard was being retired, and they said, no, they're not willing to sell it. That was 50 years ago.
Once the city of Carthage realized that they would not get the truck fully restored, they agreed to give it to Burnett to try to get it ready for the parade at the Maple Leaf Festival.
The actual Grand Marshal for the Maple Leaf Parade is our former fire chief that just left last December. So it would be really, really cool, really special if we get that old truck up and running.
Looking at historic photos of the truck was helpful, as no one knew how to actually build the truck.
It's like a huge jigsaw puzzle, except the difference with a jigsaw puzzle is once you get the part in, you're okay. With this one, you can put a part in and then you realize, oh, I've got to take 10 parts back out because that other part had to go in first.
One of the interesting things about this restoration project is how many local craftsmen are helping out.
This top of this valve was lost. There were 4 of them and they were lost. They were able to craft them at the local foundry in Monette. I even had a little 10-year-old boy from up in town crawl down inside because we couldn't get to a couple of the bolts and nuts to be put on, and he came out and helped us on it. So it's been a community effort and an area effort.
An effort the community will be able to enjoy for years to come. In Carthage, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
Now again, if the renovation is finished in time, the former chief, who is also the Grand Marshal, is going to ride that vintage truck in the Maple Leaf Parade on Saturday morning. People are already reserving viewing spots along the parade route. Some were placing railroad ties or other barriers and easements where they intend to watch the parade. The police chief says that is perfectly legal.
Get a good view of the parade. My kids now come. I have 2 kids and they have to get a good spot so they can get the candy. We did have a year where we didn't stake our claim for good seats and we missed out, so that's what we're doing right now.
The Carthage Maple Leaf Parade is the largest parade in Southwest Missouri. It begins at 9 Saturday morning. The route begins in the historic Courthouse Square and ends at the junior high school. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Penn State Gorillas as they look to stay perfect this weekend against Lincoln.
And of course, we had a beautiful day across the area, a little bit on the gusty side. I'll let you know what we can expect for the weekend when our forecast returns. Clear skies today, a little bit on the windy side, but that wasn't too bad. It did affect the fire danger though, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But let's enjoy the nice weather, like down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice evening down there. Also across the entire area, we're seeing temperatures this afternoon warm up into the lower 70s and some upper 60s across our area, 69 in Fort Scott, 68 in Nevada. Meanwhile, here in Joplin, around 72 was our high, 72 in Columbus, 74, one of the warmer readings down in Afton. Temperatures are starting to cool off just a little bit now. Generally a lot of 60s up to the north, a few 70s still hanging on, like in Nowata and in Pryor at 72 and 73 respectively. Clear skies right now on the tower cam. Beautiful shot looking up range line. 72 this afternoon. That is normal for our high, believe it or not. We started out at 45, which was a little bit below normal, so overall we ended up slightly below normal for the day. And over the month of October, we've had 10 days above normal on the high temperatures, only 2 days below, and of course today was normal. What wasn't normal was the fire danger and the fire weather warning. That is in effect for the entire area until 8 o'clock tonight. Then it will restart again tomorrow at noon until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. So please be aware of that if you're going to be dealing with any outside fires, as we're going to be seeing winds tomorrow gusting up close to 30 miles per hour, especially in our northern sections, but everywhere is going to be having that high fire danger with those gusty winds, low dew points, warm temperatures, and of course the drought that is ongoing. Temperatures right now are very pleasant, generally in the 60s and 70s, northwesterly winds on the hour, but look at these dew points. In the 20s across our area, that's extremely dry, bone dry in fact. 26 degrees in Fort Scott right now, 22 in Commerce. Those are the dew points. Right now in Joplin, it's 68, west-northwesterly winds at 16, the dew point's 28, but check out the humidity, 22%, and the pressure is currently falling. Our forecast for tonight, we're going to see lows dropping down into the 40s once again across our area, maybe even some 30s, especially up to the north. 41 in Mound City, Fort Scott. Some of those colder valleys could dip down into the 30s. 43 in Joplin, 44 in Grove. Then tomorrow, gusty winds out of the west-southwest with temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees, especially out towards the west, 81 in the Ville. Then as we go through tomorrow night into Saturday morning, we will have a front drop through our area, cooling temperatures off a little bit, 40s to the north, 50s to the south. But it looks like the best chance of storms on Saturday is going to be down to the south in northeast Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. And by Saturday afternoon, we'll see highs in the 70s pretty much everywhere. Then as we go through Saturday night, Sunday morning, you see those showers and storms down across Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas, with lows generally in the upper 40s up to the north and 50s down to the south. Over the next 7 days, well, the chance of showers Saturday night into Sunday morning, again, mainly to the south. Then look at those temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. 50s for highs and 30s for lows. Even our first freeze likely going to occur on Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. And then we start to mild up again as we move towards the middle part of the week. But definitely football weather with nice cool temperatures and just a little bit of rain.
Time to dig out those sweatshirts for anyone who hasn't already.
And the sweaters too.
You bet. Thanks, Sam. Jacob here now with sports. The Miami High School softball team hits the field today in the 4A state tournament.
The War Dogs have a chance to move on to the Final Four this afternoon. We're going to check in on that one. Plus, Pittsburgh State running back Caleb Lewis aims to continue his hot start this weekend against Lincoln. We'll hear from the sophomore running back after the break. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are 6-0 to begin the football season. The Gorillas are back on the road this weekend, aiming to stay perfect against Lincoln. Now for Pittsburgh State, running back Caleb Lewis is off to a nice start. Through 6 games, he's rushed for 455 yards, the third most in the MIAA. And he's already closing in on his rushing numbers from last season, and he's still got 5 games to go.
Always been a dominant competitor. It's just this year I feel like I got a little chip on my shoulder. I feel like I didn't get the accolades. Not that it matters, but I feel like I didn't get the accolades that I wanted last year. So I feel like when I run the ball, I got something to prove.
When you take a step back and kind of get out of that game plan mode and watch your guys play, you're like, wow, Caleb is playing really, really fast. And look at him hit the hole here, and look at him pick up the blitz and pass pro there. And so he's really well-rounded player. He's doing a lot of things really well and playing really fast and really doing a great job just leading as well, and a great leader on our football team.
The Kansas City Chiefs host the Buffalo Bills on Sunday afternoon in an AFC playoff rematch from last season. Now, both teams head into the weekend with a 4-1 overall record. The Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, I know you already know he's good, but he's coming off a 4-touchdown performance last week against the Raiders. This season, Kelce has 7 receiving touchdowns, just 5 games, which is the most right now in the NFL. Now, here's his quarterback on what makes Kelce such a special guy.
Yeah, that's the type of guy he is. Obviously, he's talented. I mean, to be that big and be able to run routes like that and have that speed. I mean, he could have had a ton of success really anywhere, but I think the way the type of guy he is, the type of guy, how he works and how he's just a teammate, a great teammate, I think that's why he's kind of taking it to the next level. It's because, I mean, everybody on that field, they enjoy watching him succeed because of the type of guy he is every day.
The Miami War Dogs are in the state softball tournament for the first time since 1996. The War Dogs hit the field today, playing in the 4A quarterfinals against the Bristow Pirates. Now, the winner of this one advances to the Final Four tomorrow. Miami, look at this, wins a good one, 1-0. The War Dogs will play in the state semifinals at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon in OKC. More playoff softball here in Webb City. McDonald County and Nevada square off tonight in the Class 4 District 7 championship game. Right now, McDonald County leads 5-3 in the top of the 5th inning. We're going to have highlights from this one right here tonight at 10. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take a moment now to honor a local veteran. Levi Swartz served in the U.S. Coast Guard during the Iraq War. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we salute Bosun's mate, 2nd Class Levi Swartz, a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. New data shows just how high inflation was in September, but there is some good news for millions of retirees who will soon see a boost in their Social Security checks. Also, the January 6th panel voted today to subpoena former President Trump about his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And jurors reached a verdict in the sentencing trial for the Parkland shooting suspect, the school shooter Nicholas Cruz. Those stories, a lot more, it's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9, Fox 14. The weather, it's getting chillier and chillier.
It's chillier and chillier. Now tomorrow we're going to be having an alert day because of the fire danger out there with strong winds, a high of around 78. Then Saturday, a chance of storms mainly down to the south, so don't get too excited. I think everyone's going to be fine for the Maple Leaf Parade on Saturday, and then Sunday those showers move out. But cooler early next week, our first freeze down, I think, on Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. And then in the extended, we're going to see a slow warm up towards the following weekend with highs near 80.
All over the place. See you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon services provided.